Close your eyes and try to picture the exact face of the person you love most. You think you can see them perfectly. You think their image is locked safely inside your mind. But cognitive science proves that right now, your brain is actively erasing them. Every memory you have of their smile, the exact shade of their eyes, and the sound of their voice is being systematically overwritten. Here is the terrifying reason why your memory destroys what matters most. We like to think of our minds as a vault. A secure, unchanging archive where our most precious treasures are kept safe from the passage of time. When we look at a childhood photograph or remember a late-night conversation with someone who changed our life, we feel a sense of absolute certainty. We believe we are looking at a snapshot of reality. But your brain is not a camera. It is a storyteller. And storytellers lie. To understand why your mind is betraying you, we have to look at what happens the exact moment you remember something. Neuroscientists discovered a process called reconsolidation, and it completely shatters our understanding of human identity. When you recall a memory, your brain does not just open a file and read it. It pulls the memory out of storage, completely deconstructs it, and renders it entirely vulnerable to change. For a brief window of time, that memory becomes soft, fluid, and malleable. Then, when you are done thinking about it, your brain saves the file again. But it doesn't save the original. It saves a brand new version. A copy of a copy. This means that the memories you visit most often, the ones of your parents, your partner, your childhood best friend, are actually the ones you have corrupted the most. Every time you miss them, you alter them. Every time you replay their voice in your head, you change the pitch. Every time you picture their face, your current mood, your current environment, and your current anxieties bleed into the canvas. You are painting over a masterpiece with cheap watercolors, day after day, without ever realizing it. But it gets stranger. And much darker. Your brain isn't doing this by accident. This corruption is a feature, not a bug. Your mind is a survival engine, and it is governed by a ruthless evolutionary law, efficiency over sentimentality. To your brain, a perfect memory is a dangerous waste of biological resources. If you remembered every detail of every person you ever met, the sheer volume of data would paralyze you. High-resolution data requires massive amounts of metabolic energy to maintain. So, your brain implements a brutal compression algorithm. It strips away the details it deems unnecessary. It keeps the concept of the person, but deletes the reality. Think about someone you love deeply but haven't seen in a few years. You know exactly how they make you feel. You know their favorite food, their habits, their flaws. But try to map the exact distance between their eyes. Try to perfectly recreate the specific symmetry of their jawline. You can't. Your brain has discarded the geometry and kept only the emotion. It has turned a living, breathing human being into an abstract concept. You are mourning a ghost that your own mind manufactured. And this is the part almost nobody talks about. There is a psychological phenomenon known as structural fading. It suggests that our brains are hardwired to prioritize the present moment so fiercely that it views the past as a direct threat to our survival. If you are constantly looking backward with perfect clarity, you cannot effectively navigate the dangers of the present. So, your brain protects you by dulling the sharp edges of the past. It forces a slow, digital decay on the faces of the people who matter most, ensuring that your emotional attachment to yesterday doesn't consume your ability to function today. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part is what happens when we try to fight back against this decay. In our modern world, we think we have found a cure for this evolutionary amnesia. We have smartphones. We take thousands of photos. We record videos. We capture high-definition audio of the people we love. We believe we are outsmarting our own biology. But psychologists call this photo-taking impairment. Studies show that when you take a photograph of a moment or a person, your brain instantly registers that the information is stored externally. It says, "This is saved somewhere else, so I don't need to expend energy remembering it." By documenting everything, we are giving our brains permission to forget even faster. We are outsourcing our love to silicon chips. We look at the digital image and we think we are remembering the person, but we are actually just remembering the photograph. We are falling in love with the media, while the biological memory fades into total obscurity. You aren't just losing the faces of the people you love. You are losing your own history. Because if you cannot trust your memory to preserve the people who shaped you, how can you trust it to tell you who you are? This isn't really about a glitch in human memory. It's about us. It is about the fundamental tragedy of human consciousness. We are creatures capable of experiencing infinite, boundless love, trapped inside a biological machine that is fundamentally incapable of holding onto it. We are desperate to freeze time, but our brains are designed to melt everything down to keep the engine running. We live under the comforting illusion that the people we love will always exist exactly as they are inside our minds. We treat memory as a monument. But memory is not a monument. It is a graveyard where the features of our loved ones are slowly reclaimed by the earth, sinking deeper into the soil with every passing year. But perhaps there is a hidden mercy in this cruelty. If our memories were perfect, if we could recall the exact warmth of a lost parent's hand or the precise frequency of an ex-lover's laugh with absolute clarity, the weight of our grief would be unbearable. We would be crushed by the gravity of our own past. The decay of memory is the only thing that allows us to heal. The brain erases the sharp lines of the face so that the pain of their absence stops cutting so deep. It blurs the image so you can look at it without crying. Your brain is forcing you to forget, not because it doesn't care, but because it wants you to survive. It is making room for the present. It is telling you that the people you love cannot be safely stored in the past. They can only be experienced right now, in the fleeting, fragile, unrecordable moment before they slip away. So look at the people you love while they are still here. Don't just take a picture. Don't just try to save them for later. Look at them with the terrifying awareness that your mind is already rewriting them. Because tomorrow, you will be loving a version of them that doesn't exist.